Okay, so we're taking the valve section out of this Boosey Euphonium because we have to hone the cylinders for the pistons to be refit. The pistons have been built up with copper, and so I will externally hone those shortly. But before I do that, I've got to take the valve section out so that we can hone these cylinders and make sure that they're straight and round and dead on the money. So now comes the messy part. Figure out where everything's going to come out of this thing. Okay. I tend to leave certain branches on because it aids in reassembling the horn, making sure things come together correctly. Okay, as we're undoing everything, you can see where some of the sins of the manufacturer take place. Like a common thing with euphoniums is that for some reason or another, they always seem to forget to solder the lead pipe at the first valve. So this joint here looks like it's loose on this side of the ferrule, on the valve section side of the ferrule. So we're going to pull this out here in a moment. I got to undo a few other spots, but yeah. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so as you can see, we're just kind of taking things apart in a very specific way. It's a strategic approach because we want to try and keep everything as having points where things come back together again, and that way we don't have to fight with the instrument and try to make things function. So we're just going to undo this ferrule here, which is kind of a crazy one at the top. These are always a little bit weird. So I'm going to undo from this side here. I'm keeping that ferrule attached to the other side of the horn. At the same time, I gotta make sure we get this undone over here. Okay, so now we can undo this side, and as you can see, the lead pipe, complete failure. Okay, so now we'll do a little bit of dent work on this valve section, straighten a few other things out, and then these cylinders are ready to go on the honing machine and be re-rounded. Okay, so we've got the valve section out, and we're going to straighten out a few things. We're not removing all the tubes, it's not necessary, but as you can see, there's a lot of dents in the ports, and so I will soften some of these up just because, well, it's just the right thing to do while we're in the neighborhood. So we'll see what we can do to get those cleaned up. Now we've got that done, we can get it on the honing machine, and we can re-round and straighten the cylinders so that we can move on to the next step, which is the pistons here. Now these have been copper built up already. They have already gone through quite a few repairs, including replacing the bottom inserts on these because several of them were damaged. From people trying to drive them out with drumsticks and hammers. So these valves, this is the fourth valve, which are obviously shorter than the others because this is a compensating horn. So we have built these up with quite a bit of copper to fill in a lot of the pitting because these look like old corn cobs once we removed the old plating. There was a lot of underplate corrosion into the nickel silver base metal or substrate. So now these have got to be honed and sized. We'll get them relative to the cylinders. We'll get these honed to make sure that they're right. Then we'll hone the copper valves down to the final dimensions prior to nickel plating. Once they're nickel plated, they'll be oversized and they'll be honed down to match up. Just like these valves here have been nickel plated after multiple repairs and new bottom inserts as well. They have yet to be finish honed to fit their respective valve casings, but we should have them done soon. But that's what they look like prior to final honing and fitting to the cylinders.
And we need hammers for the didn't work.
Looking for The right hammers, is number 8. I think we got the other ones out that we need. Now we're good. Okay. I have some trouble spotting the ball. Just raising dents in the casing ports for the tuning slides. Some really hard dents in here. So just get a rod underneath it and push some of that out. And okay, I gotta go. And it just falls right out. We rounded the tube out. We've got the majority of the dents raised. We'll go around and soften them up a little bit more. Okay. One back there. Driver right there. Let's see if we can get up in here. See how this one works. Okay, dent right there. Get that little guy.